What's up guys, it's Mikey from Mallory Knox, and I'm going to let you know my 5 tips for touring. So number 1 for me is eat good. Eat as well as you can when you can. I mean, I know it can be difficult sometimes, you know, you're always stopping at truck stops and things like that where it's just Subway and Arby's and all that kind of stuff, you know, just full of rubbish. But, you know, if you get the chance, buy yourself some fruit and some things with vitamin C, even some like supplements. And I'm drinking like, it looks like pee, and it's been brought up that it looks like pee, but it's not pee. It's like a vitamin water, right? And it keeps you topped up, keeps you healthy, you know. You don't want to turn into a slug halfway through a tour and not be able to do the rest of it. So that's 1. For me, number 2 is find time for yourself. Find time to get away from everybody, whether that be getting yourself a book, finding somewhere quiet, whether it be plugging yourself into your iPhone or whatever and listen to music, or get on video games, go for a walk, whatever it is. Just find some time for yourself, find some time for your own thoughts. Tip number 3, no shoes in the bus. I don't know if you can see, I've got my Hugh Hefners on. They are always on in the bus just because it can be quite cold. But when you're spending all day, every day going in and out of the bus and stuff, you find the floor getting like almost as gross as the floor outside. And when you know you're kind of getting up in the morning and you know you don't want to be walking around in shoes. Yeah, you want to kind of keep the home vibe. So keep your shoes off, people. Tip number 4, hydration. Now this is probably I'll probably get laughed at for this by a few people, but I find that being hydrated on tour can be quite difficult, and it's very important to be hydrated, particularly for singers and people that don't want to just become big lethargic messes, because it can happen on tour. You know, you spend a lot of time sitting and traveling, and especially in the United States where the trips are so long and you don't find yourself being able to be active very much. So keeping yourself hydrated, keeping yourself well, I think that's kind of like a big part of my tips here, is to make sure that you're as well as you can be, because if you're not fighting fit, then you know you're not going to be doing the best performance you can be out on stage. So it's a big one. Drink some water. Tip number 5, and I think this might be one of the most important ones for me, is meet people in the vicinity that you're playing. You know, every time you've got to make the effort to go out, meet new people, see what they're about, see what they can offer you. And I don't mean that in kind of like any sort of negative way. I mean like they can give you local tips on like where to eat, or what to go and see, or what to avoid even, you know. And that's a huge part of touring, is you know, being able to go home and say, I went here and I actually did this, you know, not just kind of I just existed in the vicinity of Chicago for 24 hours. You know, you actually get stuck in, meet some of the locals, and really kind of get a vibe for what it's about. You know, keeping your eyes open and making your own judgments on how things are. You know, I find, and I'm sure a lot of people at home will find that, like when you watch the news and things like that, they give you one idea of how a place or a set of people are, and there's no better thing in the world than to be able to go out and actually find out that's true, or in fact disprove it, and be like, well, no, that's not how, you know, these people aren't how the news reports them whatsoever, or likewise, it is, you know. But making your own judgments, making your own mind up, and being able to do a bit of exploring yourself, I think is such an important thing when you're on tour. So bear in mind.